Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Miami for episode 2 of season 2 of the Nightlife, our Vampire the Masquerade chronicle set here in sunny Miami. And by sunny Miami, I mean the land of monsters. With me tonight, again, I have 3/4 of my fabulous cast who I'm going to go through and allow them to introduce themselves. But real quick, just a couple of things about the show in general. This is part of the world of darkness. Now, if the name didn't give it away, things can get less than unicorns and rainbows and bunnies here. It can get kind of serious. It can get kind of gory and messy, and it might be a little too much for some of you guys. Please take the time that you need to be okay with what's happening. Step away if you need to. Get a drink of water. We as a group have talked about safety tools behind the scenes, and we have lots of stuff in place to make sure that everybody can participate and enjoy a horror game, but still feel nice and cozy and safe. Also, nothing I say is canon. Don't believe a word that comes out of my mouth. I am not a representative of the world of darkness. I just wandered into the Renegade game studio one day and won't leave now. So they let me run this game now, and they're stuck with me. It's kind of fun. I think that's it. I think that's all the top of show things for right now. So without any further delay, let's meet our beautiful cast. Let's start with Cynthia. Who are you and who are you playing tonight?
Hey everyone, I am Cynthia Marie, TTRPG enthusiast, kind of a big fan of Vampire, play a couple of games here and there, you check out all the social medias later. But tonight I am playing Reina de la Vega. She is your Tremere celebrity psychic. So yeah, and also now, back bar dishwasher.
Yeah. She stress cleans. It's probably a useful skill.
It's fine.
Everything's okay. Everything's good. Nora, how about you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Nora Ibrahim. You can find me everywhere at Noralogical. Tonight, I play Carmina Magnus, then True, and owner of the prestigious boutique Magnus Hotel. Are we doing full-on things that we're doing? We're saving that for the end? Because there's a lot.
Let's save it until the end because we got to talk about scheduling and some of those little things. Also, you'd be talking for like literally an hour.
I would.
We have a show to run, so
yes,
hold on to that.
Venturing in real life and in my in character and in real life.
Last but certainly not least, Jen. Who are you and who are you playing tonight?
I am Jen Kutchmer. You can find me on the interwebs on Twitter as @DreamWisp. You can find me streaming on Twitch as DreamWispJen. And tonight I am playing Giselle de la Scala, your La Sombra PR destroyer of worlds.
Destroyer of worlds. All right, that's how we're doing it.
I want that on business card. Destroyer of worlds.
I had to adjust my video settings because my internet is being touchy tonight. So I'm going to look a little kind of sketchy, maybe a bit postmodern tonight. I apologize. I'm Diana D'Amico. I am your storyteller this evening. I'm super psyched to jump back into this story and pick up where we left off. So without further ado, last week, we rejoined La Palabra about 8 weeks after the coterie dispatched an elder and their property manager in one evening via Diablerie. Giselle's fledgling childer, Aleja, has disappeared without a trace. Louvi, perhaps still harboring a little bit of guilt over his treatment of Bastien, has offered to go out and look for any signs of her. So he hasn't been around for a couple of days now. You expected him back way sooner. Giselle, Carmina, and Reina came face to face with the slightly older, definitely more polished version of Peter in his brother, Antonio. Antonio, a DA for the city. Antonio accompanied by 2 police officers who were at La Palabra about the disappearance of a health inspector, Barney Baltus. He came by to see you guys and just asked if you might have seen his little brother. After all, Peter had quite a fondness for the staff at La Palabra, namely one beautiful, entrancing hotel magnate. So you
Don't know
all would
her.
really know. I mean, he was going to propose, Carmina. It was, all things considered, it seems like the Coterie have gotten away with most of the crimes that we witnessed in season 1 scot-free. It seems that way, at least so far. We left off in Reina's private room at La Palabra. Giselle, Carmina, and Reina discussing the possible negative ramifications associated with diablerie, little voices in the head, maybe some loss of control, things of that nature. The door swung open to reveal an impossibly large, muscle-bound man who immediately zeroed in on Carmina and said, "Mr. Benedict would like to speak with you." That's where we're going to pick up. Carmina, you're well acquainted with Lucian Benedict. You've known him for a very long time at this point. But the man standing in front of you, demanding that you speak to Lucian, is not someone that you recognize. He must be new staff, but he's like 6'9", as thick as a tree trunk. He's got like a flat top haircut and a nose that looks like it's been broken half a dozen times at least over the course of this guy's life. And he kind of stands there staring at you, waiting for you to do something.
Listen, Lurch, was it? You can't just barge in here unannounced. I usually have a receptionist for this sort of thing.
Oh, well, I'm announcing that Mr. Benedict would like to speak to you. I'm Geronimo, not Lurch, by the way.
Okay. And is this urgent?
You want to keep Mr. Benedict waiting?
I mean, these aren't usually business hours. But
you're welcome to go downstairs and tell him yourself.
Oh, he's downstairs, is he?
Yeah.
As Carmina is doing all that she can to keep her composure on the outside, I think probably Reina would suspect that she's a little shaken in her boots, but would never admit it.
I mean, that makes sense. This is unprecedented.
I'm going to lean over to Carmina and be like, "You got this?"
I don't know.
Got it. Geronimo, have you ever had your future read?
I don't believe in any of that stuff.
Oh, but you should.
She's really very good.
Come, sit down. Sit.
I mean, I've seen the billboards, but I always kind of assumed that was one of those gimmicks. Look, I don't have time for this. I'm really just supposed to bring you downstairs and watch you other two ladies to make sure you don't do anything foolish while the boss is here. So can we just...
Who's boss? Not my boss.
The boss.
Carmina, who is Mr. Benedict?
Could you give us a minute?
Sure. And he doesn't leave. He just turns around and faces away from you.
Really? I bring everybody else in really close. Really close. He's my sire. And formerly my father's business partner. And he usually leaves me the F alone, but I can't imagine this would be really good. So just act casual.
Oh, yeah. Oh, casual. Got it.
She clears her throat as a cue for...
Yeah, he doesn't
Toronto.
pick up on that. He's
Great. Okay. I'm going to head downstairs.
What sort of business?
Who is that directed at?
The
Carmina.
the hotel. She literally makes like a square around the hotel.
I didn't realize it was in your family for so long.
I don't know for so long. It was my father's. He was my dad's business partner. It's very and she looks over at Geronimo to see like how much is he paying attention?
Roll me wits and awareness.
Okay. Ooh, I will do that.
You can all roll too. It's not going to take a lot of successes.
Delighted to.
Guys, Jen looks so pretty when she's doing her mean La Sombra thing. I can't get over it.
7 successes with a critical.
Okay.
Damn.
But as many dice as I got, I only got 2.
Okay.
I rolled 3 zeros, so that's a critical.
So that's 5 successes between 3 zeros.
7, 8 successes.
8? Okay. Wonderful. So, Raina, you kind of glance over at Geronimo. And as far as awareness is concerned, you probably pick up on things that other people would miss normally. That's just, you're perceptive. It's who you are. This man is standing on the threshold to your room and doesn't seem to notice that there's like a waft of sort of gossamer that's like resting on top of his head and it keeps catching his hair.
Yeah.
So he dodges out of the way, but he doesn't actually ever look up to see what it is that's touching him constantly. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. He's not going to notice anything. Carmina and Giselle, this meathead probably wouldn't notice if you threw a piece of fruit at him right now. This dude would sleep through an air horn. Like there's nothing going on up there.
Perfect. Lean back towards everyone else. So my sire, he from what I have kind of gathered is that he screwed my dad over for the business and thought that I would be this, very complacent, person that he could control and groom into being the person to handle all his finances, but that was clearly not the case.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not groomed to be like that.
Yeah, he's kind of creepy. You don't want to.
Are you guys dressed yet? Like, can I turn around? It's
nope, still naked.
Okay.
Yeah, still changing. That was weird.
He continues to stare out of
Oh no,
the door.
What do you want to do? Okay. Well, I mean, he knows we're here. He's downstairs. The best thing I could do is to not indicate that I'm, intimidated in any way. So I guess we just kind of see what happens.
Why would you be?
I mean, does anybody really want their sire around lurking?
Fair.
Giselle, are you actually searching for information or are you kind of being coy right now?
I'm actually curious about this a little bit. I don't know much about Carmina's backstory and I'd like to know a little bit more about where she came from.
Okay. I know that you spent some of the time between our 2 seasons doing as much investigation as possible on La Palabra and kind of its history. you would have seen the name Lucian Benedict at several points in time during that research. It wasn't as a direct contributor or a direct board member or a direct influencer of anything at La Palabra, but he is very, very high up in the law firm that had been managing everything in Maceo's absence.
So he's a lawyer at MMR?
Yes.
So really should work on those wards next time.
I don't know how close you both are able to keep around within earshot, but I don't mind you eavesdropping. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Duly noted.
All right. See what this jerk wants.
Hey, Geronimo, you sure you don't want a reading here? I tell you have a good future.
Can you guarantee that?
Oh, she's the best.
Oh, if I'm going to get a good future, then yeah, sure, I'll take a reading.
Oh, good. All right.
Does it matter? I'm not very good at reading. Does that?
Oh, you'll be just fine. It's okay. I'm actually going to stand up and walk towards him, if that's at all possible, and put my hands on his. I think I reach up to his chest, maybe.
How tall is
Reina's a mere 5'6". She like.
Okay, great. So I intentionally made Geronimo as big as B. Dave Walters so that we would all have sort of a relative form of measurement here. So
how many Walters tall?
Yeah, one B. Dave Walters tall.
One Walters tall.
Come up to his sternum. Got it.
He's still facing away from you.
I tap him. When I tap him, do I get a premonition?
Ooh. What is that determined by?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Yeah, I know. I'm rude that way.
1 second. Let me grab my PDF and try to find it.
Is this Auspex?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold, please, audience. Don't even, I think it's kind of just a roll to see how much you get, but I don't know that it happens automatically.
Premonition.
Okay, here it is. Roll me your resolve in Auspex.
Yes,
we'll see.
Madam. Oh, I got to work on that. This is bad dice pool. Well, I got just a critical success.
You don't see a lot when you kind of tap him at the shoulders. You see kind of like a time-lapsed sequence of lots of hours spent at the gym. And the rest of the hours kind of spent like almost bodyguarding a door. Like you see a lot of really boring shit in this premonition that you get from him. You get the sense that Geronimo doesn't have a lot going on.
Oh, wow. That is quite the future you have there.
What'd you see?
I saw a door. It was closed. It almost seemed locked, as if you needed somehow to force it open so you can meet whatever it is that you want on the other side. And there's a gym of sorts.
If I want to go through a door, I can just bust it open. That doesn't sound like me. Are you sure you got my premonition and my future? Is it?
It's a proverbial door, meaning that when you go through it, there's some challenges that you have to expect in order to get to that future goal of yours or that future goodness that you want.
Carmina, are you using this distraction as your opportunity to just kind of slip out of the door?
100%. And I want to see if Giselle wants to come with me, and if there's any of her Le Sombre specialties that she can.
I can certainly hide myself in some of these shadows that we've got throughout the club, to be as undetected as possible.
Perfect.
I believe.
If you both could roll me your dex and stealth.
Okie dokie.
Unless you are indeed shadow stepping, Jen. I can't remember.
I don't have shadow step yet, but I have cloak of shadows.
Okay.
So
then,
once I kind of hide myself through into where I'm staying, then I'll sit tight. So I'm sorry, you said dex, and
you don't need to roll if you're using your cloak of shadows.
And I don't think that Carmina would try to stealth her way down, but she would hope that Giselle would kind of be doing her thing,
her spooky thing.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. The two of you do make it out onto kind of the landing at the top of the stairs that lead into Raina's room, completely unnoticed. Geronimo is now completely focused on this future that he has with this door, this magic door that all of his hopes and dreams lie behind. So he is pretty intensely grilling you about this premonition, Raina.
Do we just need to make sure he stays put? Is that the issue here? Because we can do that.
I mean,
very easily.
It seems like he's a big guy, but he's pretty harmless. Does he seem like kindred or ghoul, or do we pick up on any of that?
Roll me wits and awareness.
Okay.
I actually have a thing for that.
Do you? What is it? Tell me about it.
I'm pretty sure I have a thing for that. It's a ritual. Truth of blood.
Are you going to perform your ritual right now with him staring at you?
Oh, not yet, but I do have things that are prepared for him to drink if I needed to.
No, but I'm gonna walk up to him, and I am going to sort of just before we leave the room, I'd like to kind of just look at him and get him to look at me. And once he does, I'd like to mesmerize and say, "Just stay here with Raina until we come and tell you otherwise."
It's funny.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Your eye line. I feel like I'm frozen. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
It's funny. He will not meet your eye line. It's like he knows that this is something that's possible and refuses to fall victim to it.
Fair enough.
So he just kind of like, he stares over your shoulder a little bit and sort of chuckles to himself when he hears you give the command.
Well, I wouldn't give it until he's looking at me directly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Until I have the circumstances.
Then
I'm
you
not
two just share
gonna
a
take
moment.
the swing until it's yeah.
I'm gonna look over to Giselle and I'm just gonna mouth the words, "I got this."
Okay. I nod and then I'll slip off over.
Ma'am, you need to come back in here.
Oh, darling, don't worry about her. She's got other things to take care of. We are talking about your future.
Roll me charisma manipulation.
I mean, sure.
Saucy minx you.
Charisma and what else? I'm sorry?
Manipulation.
That's also a small pool. My dice love me today. I got a critical success and 2 other successes. So that's a total of 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Geronimo's brow kind of furrows for a moment, like, I won't be fooled. But then he kind of turns back to you, Raina. And you are practiced in the art of presentation, be it the way that you've decorated this room, the way that you kind of present yourself as a personality, and the way that you move. And there's sort of this flourish that you do when you're like, we have so much more to talk about, that feels very inviting. And without even realizing it, Geronimo is stepping further into the room, and has seemingly completely forgotten what he was actually supposed to do in here.
Would you like some tea? I do a really good reading as well.
No, tea's for hippies. Protein drink?
With tea leaves?
No. Would that taste good?
Yeah.
I'm not really thirsty right now. It's fine. It's just tell me more about my future in this door.
So this door it's locked, as if you are in a state of, I don't know, imbalance. Something's not right in your life. You really need to go through that door. It's as if there was some sort of, I don't know, boss that was manipulating you in some way, and that if you were to break through that,
where is the door?
In front of you.
Where?
Or behind you sometimes. It's in your future. There's going to be some sort of door that you need to break down. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, it's not really much of a future reading. I break down doors all the time. You could have just guessed that.
Yeah, but is there a really important person behind it? Usually.
There was this time. And he kind of like points back to the door that he just kicked open.
I see. Who's the important person to you?
Well, they're not important to me.
Ah, so then that wasn't an important door. Therefore, there is another door that is more important than that door.
Well, that Magnus lady's really important to my boss. So by the transitive property, she's important to me.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that the door that you're standing at that has the important person behind it is your boss that you need to kick down so that you can stop being controlled by him. Do I make myself clear?
Why would he lock me out? And on that, we're going to leave those two for just a minute. Guys, I sense a burgeoning love story. And follow Carmina and Giselle.
Can I just say, like, as we're exiting, all I hear is like knocking down doors. And I was like, don't destruct, but like, you can't be knocking down my property. Like, like I like look back at that, but then like proceed forward.
It's okay. You've got insurance. So, stepping out onto the landing, again, it wasn't a super busy night at La Palabra. There are a few folks out on the dance floor, glancing out and kind of taking a look. All you really see, the only person you recognize is Bastien behind the bar, who has, again, quit cleaning drink glasses and is sort of scrolling on his phone. Carmina, you would know that Raina puts wards up to protect you guys from other kindred, really, but, you know, anything that you don't want crossing the threshold. And it would be impossible for Lucian to have just strolled in through the front door of La Palabra. So you make the educated guess that he came in through the Magnus Hotel. He checked on his investment. And since he isn't out here on the dance floor, it's likely that he's in the meeting room situated between La Palabra and the Magnus Hotel.
You know what? I will make it appear as though I am walking in alone.
Okay. Giselle, what's your plan here?
Follow along in the shadows.
Okay.
But keeping an eye on Carmina and sort of hearing what what Benedict has to say here.
Okay. Swinging open the door that leads into this sitting area. Again, it's very luxurious in nature. There are a couple very plush velvet couches and some high top tables. And it's odd that this room is soundproof to the point of uncomfortable silence. It's very quiet in here. The room is completely empty except for one man who sits, his arms stretched out on either side of him, one of these couches. He wears a pristine sharkskin suit. His dark hair with sort of salt and pepper flecks is slicked back very stylishly. And everything about him and his body language screams cold. Carmina, you know that the minute he turns his attention to you, you're going to see the fire in his eyes, the one part of him that seems to have remained alive after all these years.
I strut slowly and very purposely towards him to a couch that is directly across from him, cross my legs, hands folded in my lap. What do I owe? Well, you would absolutely know that the hotel is vast and takes quite some time to make my way through in between our visiting quarters. May I offer you something to drink?
No, Carmina, I'm not here for whatever swill it is that you offer everyone else.
You know, being somewhat of an investor, not sure that you would call this place swill.
I tend to take interest in the investments that actually make me money instead of causing me problems. Carmina, you don't look happy to see me.
Oh, I'm always happy to see you. Just such an unexpected visit. You know, usually I'm a very busy woman and I have appointments and I have people that schedule these sort of things for me. So if you would like to get to the point, then go to it.
You've forgotten your manners.
Well, I tried to exchange pleasantries with you, and I even was so hospitable as to offer you something, but you, in turn, insulted my establishment. So what is it that you're here for?
He's going to kind of lean forward and place his elbows on his knees to get as close to you as possible, even though you're sitting on separate couches. What do you want, sir, is the proper way to voice your query.
Oh, I think you and I are a little past that. And she does not lean back in towards him.
Lucian takes a moment. He's studying you fairly closely, Carmina. It's been a while since the two of you were in the same space. There's manipulation in his gaze, certainly, but also a bit of pride. And he sort of glances back towards the shadows that Giselle is currently hiding in and turns right back to you, Carmina. All right. Do you have something you'd like to tell me, child?
Well, for one, your choice in goons. I'd expect better from you.
Well, it is prudent to make sure they aren't smart enough to outwit me. Muscle is always going to be beneficial.
Are you that threatened, though, where you'd have to stoop so low?
Not at all. But that idiot would walk into any police station in Miami and give himself up wholeheartedly for a whole host of bad, naughty things that have happened. Things like an apartment burning down or a health inspector disappearing. Sound familiar?
Perhaps. What is your angle here?
My angle is to remind you that you know better than this. You've always been careful. It's why I've let you run around and do whatever you wanted with the Magnus Hotel. You've always been careful until now.
I can always be careful, but circumstances aren't always such.
So you've aligned yourselves with those who wouldn't keep your best interests in mind? That seems rather foolish.
I never said anything about aligning myself with anyone.
He'll lean back into the couch again and stretch out his arms. And again, glance at the shadows. Turn back to you.
The shadows stare back.
The void stares back. Carmina, I would just be pleased as punch if you could roll me your intelligence and resolve.
Okie dokie. Three successes.
Okay. More than three. Okay. Again, Lucian takes one of these sort of pensive moments and studies you. And then he looks you dead in the eye, holding your gaze. He says, "Tell me the truth. The whole truth. And despite your best efforts and the half dozen or so clever retorts that jump immediately to the front of your mind in this exchange, you feel the truth of everything, of Isaac Meadows, of Barney Baltus, of Isadora, of Aleja, of Maceo. You feel the truth bubbling up. And begging to escape.
Begging to escape or escaping?
It's escaping, but I'm going to let you decide how you tell the truth in this case.
Listen, you and I both have to protect our investments, yes?
Of course.
And so any information that I provide for you, it would be in your best interest to preserve your investments, yes?
Carmina, I don't need you to teach me basic lessons about power. Give me the truth now.
Not here to teach. I'm just ensuring that we're on the same page.
I don't have to hurt you, Carmina. I don't have to do anything to you. I don't want to. Frankly, it's a waste of my time. I came here to get the truth.
You'll get the truth, but I want to remind you, Lucian, that you need me. You've always needed me. Otherwise, my father would still be in the picture. And so, we can play this game and we can dance around it, or you could be nice and I can very happily give you the information that you desire.
What do you want, Carmina? What is this going to cost me?
For one, these visits are not going to be unannounced. And then we could talk about our shareholding over this hotel. But that could be for another day.
All right.
We in agreement?
On that piece, yes.
Perfect. And so Carmina will tell him everything that's been going on because Kindred tend to be, for the most part, in agreement on things.
Would she tell him about the Diableries?
Oh, no, not that. But everything else that's been going on. Yeah, we leave that a little bit out.
Would we maybe share that how would you explain Isadora's death and Maceo's for that matter without Diablerie being a thing?
I wasn't there. I didn't see it.
So you lie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So many things going on at once, you know, who can say?
Lucian kind of allows the information to sink in, and he sits there watching you. And again, that look crosses his face that's something akin to pride, but laced with irritation this time. You all have gotten into quite a lot here, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Doesn't it concern you that you've painted such a large target on your back?
I will have to preface that this was none of my desire, but we have to deal with the cards that were dealt, don't we?
Agreed. And with that in mind, there's going to be an Elysium in 2 nights' time. You're going to need to be there. All of you are going to need to be there. And he kind of leans back over the couch, gesturing back to La Palabra and not projecting his voice towards the shadows. You'll be meeting some very important people. I can't have it known that you're out here making huge decisions by yourself without me knowing about them. So you'll show up, you'll shake hands, you might make an ally or two, and you'll behave. Is that understood?
I love a social event.
Carmina, I want you to say that you're going to behave.
Aren't I always well behaved?
You'll leave that viper's tongue at home. Or so help me, your father won't see another day inside of that home we put him in.
Fine. I'll behave.
Sir.
Oh, we're past that.
You know, I'm actually quite impressed. It takes a lot to put the events that you all have caused into motion. And admittedly, it's a few years earlier than I had truly planned for it, but it does leave us with certain opportunities within the city of Miami.
What is it that you're planning?
What we all plan. I almost like it better when you say it in a mean way. You know that, right?
Things haven't changed.
Expansion.
I'm not mad at that.
Well, maybe if you prove yourself a trustworthy and useful ally in all of this, at this meeting, the events that are coming down the pipeline, it might suit you to take on a few more locations, some more real estate.
Have I ever let you down?
Not until recently. You know, Percival's prices have gotten rather steep for information. Be a shame if someone were to pick up a few tidbits here and there that you didn't want escaping these walls.
Maybe you just didn't offer him what he wanted.
I'm sure I didn't. He screamed so loud you couldn't even hear his records by the end of it.
Is that so?
2 days' time, I'll send Geronimo back with all the details for you to peruse. Tell your friends they need to behave too. Or leave them here. I don't care. You have to show up.
Done.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where are Carmina's nerves right now?
Carmina's always well composed, unless she is dunked in a sewer and ruining her clothes.
Rest in peace, Louis Vuitton.
Rip. I will say that at the mention of Percival, what he said about Percival, and having recalled that she hasn't seen the birds around, she's a little mad.
Okay. So maybe a 6 where she's usually a 2.
Yeah.
All right. To anyone else, it would just look like you were bristling to get done with this conversation, to get back to work, to get out of this room and go make some contacts and make some money. Lucian knows you better than that. And he stands and buttons the top button of his jacket, a small smile picking up one of the corners of his mouth. I'll see you soon, dear. And he walks away towards the Magnus Hotel, not towards La Palabra. And the door swings shut behind him.
He's a real piece of shit, huh? As she says that out into the shadows.
I think you're muted, love.
Oh, yeah. So why haven't you gotten rid of him?
He's my sire. It's kind of difficult.
Is it though?
I mean, we're already kind of in a little bit of a pickle from the whole Diablo situation.
If he's the only one who knows, that ties up all those loose ends.
I don't know if he's the only one that knows, seeing as how we have to go to this Elysium in 2 nights and probably be questioned about it, possibly.
Meanwhile, upstairs. So what you're saying is it's door I can't break down.
Correct.
Do I have the key?
Within you.
Someone put a key in me? I've seen those Saw movies, man. That's not okay. That's really gross.
Do you think that maybe the person you work for is capable of doing that?
Oh, no. Mr. Benedict would never do that to me. He's gonna do things for me.
Like?
Well, I'm not really supposed to talk about it, but I feel like it's gonna happen soon.
You could trust me. It's fine.
He's gonna turn me into one of you.
Really? Really?
Yeah. You shouldn't laugh. He's really powerful and he's going to give me some of that power. Like, okay, better than seeing doors in my future or whatever.
Hear me out. Just hear me out for a second here. How much do you know about Mr. Benedict?
Well, a lot. I mean, we're with each other all the time. I see him every day. I say, hey, Mr. Benedict, how you doing? I know how he likes his, well, he doesn't drink coffee, but I know how he likes the guys who bring him his coffee to be.
Mm-hmm. And do you know anything about the businesses that he conducts?
There's a lot of them.
Like what?
Well, like this one.
And what about this one? What makes this one so special?
I don't know.
Exactly. You really think that he's actually going to turn you into one of us when you don't even know what's going on the smallest of businesses that he owns?
Well, look, it's going to take some time for me to learn the ropes or whatever, but the full moon's coming up, so it's probably going to happen soon, right? Like,
but I do know someone who would turn you now.
Who's that?
It's in your future.
He looks around for a door.
Not that door. It's a different door. I can help you become one.
Oh, I don't.
I know other people who can help you.
It's not a full moon. It's not going to work.
Hold on a second, sir. There's things that I want to do. Question for you, Geronimo, right? It is. Yes, Geronimo. Have you experienced a full moon before?
Well, yeah, lots of times. There's one every month. Didn't you know that?
Right, but when you do, what happens? I guess what I'm trying to say is, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? It's really what I'm asking.
What?
Has anything happened to you in a full moon? Have you
Well, lots of stuff. Most of the time I go to the movies sometimes. So sometimes I'm at the movies during the full moon. Sometimes I'm working.
Do you ever black out and wake up and not know where you're at? Why is a full moon so significant to you?
Well, because it has to be a full moon for you to turn into a vampire. Guys, it's so hard to keep a straight face right now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it has to be a full moon. So first I have to go and buy myself a coffin and then I climb into it and then the full moon happens and, the boss is going to do his thing and then I become a vampire.
I'm curious. Tell me, what is this thing you think he's going to do?
Drink my blood or whatever.
Or whatever.
He said it's like a kiss.
You're going to kiss your boss.
I mean, if I have to.
You're going to kiss your boss. You wouldn't drink tea with me.
Well, tea is gross.
You'll kiss your boss.
Look, don't kink shame. He's an attractive man. I can't really
Are you sure about that?
Well, yeah.
The things that I have heard about Benedict, I haven't quite met him yet, but the things that I've heard about him, not so great.
Well, trust me, because I work for him, so.
See, I don't know. Your credibility kind of went from like here to here.
Well, look, I don't really need to convince you of anything. In fact, I'm starting to doubt this whole door thing that you were talking about. It doesn't really seem very plausible.
No? You did just mention a coffin door, that you have to lay in a coffin for your future to happen. I think I was pretty right on the nose.
I mean, by that logic, everything has a door. So my future could be in the bathroom?
It's worth it for you to go check.
Okay. And he starts to stand up, and then it's like he remembers. Where'd that other lady go?
I told you. She had to go to the bathroom.
Would you and Geronimo have like, I'm guessing, I'm picturing Raina's room having sort of like floor cushions and being very much like Inara's shuttle in Firefly, like very plush. Okay. So he had been sitting cross-legged on one of these floor pillows. It was, worth every second of his inane talking just to watch him try and sit like that. But he immediately tries to get up when you say she's in the bathroom. And in doing so, kind of like kicks the pillow out from under him and scrambles for the door, where he swings the door wide open looking for Giselle.
Why did you make such a show of it? She'll be right back.
She wasn't supposed to go to the bathroom. Do you even go to the bathroom when you're a vampire? I've always wanted to ask, but it doesn't really seem like the kind of thing that's appropriate.
We can have that discussion later. There are some mechanics that would go along with that. But no. Technically, no.
So why'd she have to...
Mechanics. We'll talk later about that. Mm-hmm.
I should go find her.
You should.
So he steps out onto the landing. Giselle and Carmina, where are you at this point in time? I imagine that this whole conversation about toilets and doors and coffins and turning into a vampire in the moonlight probably happened while Carmina was having her discussion with Lucian.
Right. I would be making my way back upstairs with Giselle unless she has something else that she'd do at the moment.
But, no, I think we can head back up.
And then I'm not sure which point of the conversation that I'd be walking in on.
I feel like you had been fraught with sort of an almost nervous energy for you coming up the stairs. And then right as you reach like the top maybe 2 steps, the door flies open and Geronimo stands there wild-eyed, looking for something. And then he looks past you and sees Giselle and seems to sort of calm for a moment.
See, I told you right there.
Usually when you get your cards read or your fortune read, it should be in private. So you're welcome for having a bit of privacy.
Roll me charisma and manipulation.
Sure.
Or persuasion. Charisma, persuasion.
Oh, charisma and persuasion. Let me see that.
Did his eyes lock with me when he saw me?
Like for half of
just
an
for
instant.
a split second. Okay.
4 successes.
Okay. He again kind of turns to you, and there's this look of confusion but frenzy on his face, and then his brow sort of softens and yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you really knew about my future, but
readings are very personal, you wouldn't, privacy is an absolute must. We wouldn't want to be walking in on or overhearing something that's very private, right?
No.
Exactly. So
he's gonna kind of follow you.
Thank you, Carmina.
Thank you, Carmina.
You're welcome.
And he just kind of like does the weird shuffle thing around you, like he's scared to get too close to you, and sort of lets you all pass if you're rejoining Raina.
Yes.
Yep.
As you kind of step into her space, you do hear him start to descend the stairs, assuming that he's leaving the club. Would anyone stop to make sure that he actually left?
Yeah, I'm going to activate heightened senses.
Carmina, what did you say?
I'm texting staff to make sure that he's escorted out.
Wonderful. And Raina?
Heightened senses. I want to listen to make sure that I can hear his footsteps to get the heck out of here.
Spectacular. Go ahead and roll me wits and awareness as you're sort of sitting there and Carmina and Gisela rejoining you, to see if you actually notice that. What do you text staff out of curiosity, Carmina?
Please be sure that our guest Geronimo is safely seen escorted outside of the premises. Thank you.
Okay. 3 successes. You do hear, and it's not super hard to tell which steps are his because he weighs as much as a brick shithouse. So the stairs all creak as he descends them and hits the floor, and it becomes a little bit muffled with the music of the band, but you do hear them approach the front door.
And I did make sure to say our guest so they don't make the mistake of being hostile towards him, because he is a 1B Dave height man.
He's 1B Dave tall.
Yes, he's
exactly 1B Dave.
Precisely 1B Dave.
And I like my staff and would like to not pay their medical expenses. And so I would like for them to approach him very politely.
Okay. You all are able to rejoin Raina in her abode, as it were.
So Carmina's sire's an asshole.
Yeah, he's a big asshole.
Like, he also knows things. He's demanding stuff of us. He's a problem, and I think we should take care of him.
Okay, so a couple of things, Raina. I guess most importantly is we, but very specifically we have been summoned to attend an Elysium in 2 nights, which cannot be good because Mr. Benedict has been made aware of some of our activities, extracurricular activities, shall we say. That is actually the good news.
Elysium. You know, that's the big event that the upper,
Yeah, I shouldn't say, and this is where Carmina drops her, the way that she appears in front of most people, and even Raina has seen this very intimately as being her best friend, but this is probably the first time that Giselle really sees Carmina drop Carmina. When I say this is the good news, this is very much not good news, but it's better than what else was said. So aside from Elysium, he threatened my dad. He threatened my father, Raina, and
okay,
I don't know what I don't know what I can do for this in this situation. He knows that's my weakness right now.
Of course.
But that's not all. There's more.
There's worse?
I don't know if it's worse, but it's bad. It's bad. You know how we noticed that the birds haven't been around Well, he alluded to the fact that he has caused harm to Percival.
He didn't allude to it. He said it outright.
I mean, yes.
There's no evasiveness there. He was just
I mean, yeah, Giselle was there. Giselle saw everything.
the torture and the screaming.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Again, he's an asshole, and we should get rid of him.
Not quite yet. That is
Also, we're not sure that the Elysium is about us, so let's not just jump to that conclusion. For all we know stuff was going down in other places. We know there's suspects at the Blue Bayou. Like, there's so much else going on. It might not be us. We might be.
It might.
But also, I know that Elysium, from what I have read and was told, is that it is a place of peace. So even if there were to try to confront us, nobody can technically be using anything, I guess, against us. So they say something.
While we are physically there, yes. But I mean, what happens afterwards?
Well, that's when we have to think smarter and try to put something in place for us to be protected.
Look,
Speaking
there's
of
going to be.
protection, Geronimo. Can I address that real quick?
Yeah, what is with
Geronimo.
him?
Yeah. Your sire said something about a full moon to him. About being turned at a full moon.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That would make you laugh.
Oh, wow. Oh, that poor, poor Geronimo.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Knowing
But
him.
that's what I tried to say, but was not listening. But at least I got you to laugh for a moment. So your father. Let's talk about your father.
Where is your father?
That's what I was going to ask.
My father has since in very opportune times has become unable to continue on the business. And so he's been in retirement, shall we say.
Where in retirement?
Raina. And she kind of gives her like a knowing.
Oh.
Care to clarify here?
We can drop this now. It's okay.
I need to make a phone call.
All right.
I make the phone call in front of them because I think Carmina needs to kind of hear maybe something I might be asking here.
Okay.
I call my agent.
Okay.
Do they pick up?
Always. For you.
I need you to do me a favor immediately.
Yeah, what's that?
I need you to check on somebody for me.
Okay. Do you want me to like text them or?
No, I need you to physically go to them for me.
Oh, okay. That's old school. Okay. Who is it?
I just realized that we did not give this person a name.
Edward
Hold on.
Magnus.
Ha! No. Hold on. I'm gonna message you privately, Diana.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you were asking me about
I think I know who it is, but I'm just gonna. Yeah. We didn't. I don't think ever assign one.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do it right now. Okay. Cool.
Do
cool,
it.
Cool.
Do
cool,
it.
Cool. So I need you to check on Nurse De La Vega. Particularly, her name is Lena.
Okay. Cool. Do you know like like where I should like look, or like is this a Google situation?
No,
Is she on LinkedIn?
I don't think she has time for that, but I need you to go to a specific nursing home. I will send you the address. And I need you to ask her about her patients, particularly one of the last name Magnus.
Okay, that seems really weird, but like,
just do it. Don't have time.
Well, what do you like? What do you want? What do you want me to know? Like,
just check on them to make sure that they are healthy and okay.
Okay, all right, fine, whatever. Give me like 10 minutes. I'll call right back. Okay.
You.
And she hangs up.
I will get an answer on your father.
Thank you.
Giselle, there's probably something you should know. One of the many benefits of being really good friends and best friends with Carmina is that we get to look out for each other. And one thing that I can't help with is that I have a child who is in the medical industry, and she is watching over Carmina's father.
Yeah.
It hasn't even been more than like 2 minutes, but your phone starts to ring, Raina.
Okay.
It's your assistant.
Picking it up.
Yeah, Raina, I checked on those names that you said. Well, when did you talk to Nurse Lena last?
It's been a very long time.
Okay, because she quit. She just like put in her notice last week, I guess, and didn't show up to work again. In fact, like the patient you are asking about, Mr. Magnus, was checked out that same day.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, great. I just hang up the phone. Not the news I wanted to hear. This isn't good.
What?
My daughter put in her 2 weeks notice, and your father was checked out the same day.
Well, 2 weeks notice when?
Wait, okay, so this can't be good because that's not normal behavior, but at least maybe they're together. Maybe.
I'm going to take a stab at something here. If your sire has threatened your father, he may have been the one to check your father out.
It is with those words, Raina, that your keen sense of hearing picks up the unmistakable drawl of Geronimo's dulcet tones outside in the club.
Lurch's back.
Well,
do you want me to go check on him, or what do you guys want to do?
Look, if we could get him to give us information, he doesn't seem like the brightest bulb in the box.
No, but he's tightly sealed.
But we could promise him better than what he's getting.
At this point.
Or we just take what we need from him.
Exactly.
Let's bring him back up for another conversation.
Okay.
Also, not that anybody seems to really care, but Louvier went to go visit Percival.
Oh my God, is he okay?
We didn't hear anything about him, but, you know, I'm assuming he wasn't there or we would have heard something when all this happened, but...
Oh, we have to go look for him.
I think that we're going to have to find him. Or them, or all of them, or whatever is left.
Okay. All right. This bucket list just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. So I'm going to go wash some dishes. You guys go grab Geronimo.
Okay.
Actually, this
Let's get him. Let's bring him here rather than going out there.
Yeah, texting my staff. I'm assuming I would have gotten some sort of update on the situation.
If you texted your staff now and said like, what the fuck? Why is he there? You would get a picture taken by Barry, the head of security, of Geronimo leaning through the entrance of La Palabra and talking to Bastien.
I'm going to text Bastien and be like, are you talking to the goon?
The 3 dots pop up and they go and they go and they go for a second. And then you get a text that says, gonna climb him like a sequoia.
Climb him after you bring him to me. As I like text in all caps and like tell him what room I'm in. And be like, exclamation point, exclamation point. You know. No time for fuckery. Bring him up here now.
Yeah, but fuckery is Bastien's specialty.
I will give you a room later. Bring him to me now.
You get the dots appear again and they're like jumping on your screen and then they go away.
It's okay. I'll go take care of this.
Remind me to kill Bastien.
With pleasure. Absolutely. Great. I'm gonna like hurry up and get myself downstairs before Carmina like busts a vein.
Yeah, you open the door to see Bastien leading Geronimo up the stairs. Like he's got Geronimo's hand in his, and he's very clearly accentuating the swing of his hips as he comes up the stairs and sort of leads Geronimo, who is slack-jawed and even more probably brain dead than he seemed before, following in Bastien's gait.
How close do I get? Can I get like pretty close to Bastien?
Yeah, you're about 4 feet apart.
Great. So I'm going to look at Geronimo and Bastien and I'm going to be like, Geronimo, do you find Bastien hot?
He's gonna kind of glance between the two of you. Yeah, but like in a super classy way, like not in a cheap way.
Bastien, do you find Geronimo hot?
Bastien just looks at you and raises one of his eyebrows.
Great. So now that there's a mutual understanding, we need to borrow Geronimo for business. And as Carmina says, she will get you guys a room later. Thank you.
After your shift.
Yeah, you're still on the clock. Back downstairs, and then you go back up to the room.
I'm overdue for my 15. And he drops Geronimo's hand and walks back down the stairs, like throwing him a kiss as they cross paths.
Great. Glad that that's all cleared up. Geronimo, sit.
Okay. And he plops back down on one of your floor cushions.
Could be a little more graceful. Thank you. And I like fluff things, like putting things back into place in order.
He kind of just sits there cross-legged holding a phone.
I'm gonna take his phone.
Roll me. In what manner are you doing this? Are you taking it like, I'm taking this the fuck away from you? Or are you taking this like, let me take this and put this down for you?
No, like I'm
Rena,
taking it, like I am my mother pissed off at a child. Just
Yeah.
I was going to say, why don't you put Bastien's phone number in there for him?
I could do that too.
The instant you snatch it out of his hands, you recognize that this is Bastien's phone. That had been given to Geronimo to seemingly put Geronimo's phone number in. But Raina, as you kind of like turn it over from the bejeweled phone case you recognize as Bastien's, it's open to a series of text messages already with Aleja. None of which are recent. But there's a picture that was sent less than an hour ago that shows Aleja with her arm around a very attractive, young, smiling individual. Giselle, if you catch a glance of this, that's Taja.
Oh.
And I think that's where we're going to end tonight. I think that's a good spot. Man, that's good. Guys, I love Geronimo. I love putting dumb characters in front of you and seeing what you do to them. Thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 2. So before we dig in and hear what everyone else has going on right now, because I know it's a lot of stuff, I want to let everybody know we are off next week. Several of the cast members are going to be at San Diego Comic-Con doing a bunch of stuff there, but we will be back the 27th. Where we'll finally figure out what Louvier's been up to this whole time. Maybe he's dead. Maybe like really dead, like dead. Final dead. We'll see. Anyway, that'll be fun. And then we are off again August 3rd, the week of Gen Con. So we're doing a little bit of spotty games here and there, but rejoin us on the 27th to see episode 3. I can't wait to do it. I can't wait. This is so good so far. With that in mind, let's hear what everybody else is up to. Let's start with Jen.
Yes. So I am Jen Kutchmer. You can find me on Twitter as @DreamWisp. You can find me streaming on Twitch as DreamWispJen. On Mondays at 6 p.m. I am on my own channel. Tuesdays at 6 p.m. I am on Demiplane's channel for Children of Erte. Fridays, Radiant Stories is about to start on Never Ending. That's going to be a lot of fun. And there are some other things coming up that I'm sure I'm forgetting, but my brain is mush. So
I know that feeling.
We're going to go with that right now.
Next, but certainly not least, Miss Nora. This is going to be like 45 minutes, guys.
I hate doing outros because I forget everything after like role playing. Hi everyone, I'm Nora Ibrahim. You can find me everywhere at Noralogical. My Idol Champions character Nahara is live now for Founders and Legends, so be sure to unlock all of that fun stuff. Nahara is my Black Die Society character, which is airs every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific. We've got 10 episodes left in we just did our 50th episode last week. So we are wrapping things up. Fridays, I am part of a Call of Cthulhu campaign, Masks of Nyarlathotep, in a show called Time for Chaos, which is part of the Glass Cannon Network that airs on Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific. I usually stream Monday nights with Realmsmith. We're on a hiatus, but we should be picking back up later in August. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con doing a panel Thursday at 7 p.m. with a bunch of lovely human beings, the people of color in the TTRPG space. I will also be at Gen Con, where Black Dice Society will be doing a live show, and I'll also be doing something with Glass Cannon, but I don't have the exact time and place, but please follow me on socials where I'll keep you updated on that. And also, the Hellguard Kickstarter just launched. It's on I announced it on Twitter yesterday, but I will be a contributing author for that Kickstarter, so please check that out, and I will pass it along. I know, it's my first TTRPG writing contribution, so I'm very excited, and passing it along to Cynthia.
What you got, Sid? Let's hear it.
I'm Cynthia Marie. You guys can find me on Twitch. Not Twitch yet, but will be soon. Twitter at @CynDancer or Instagram Cynthia_Marie. I'm not as busy as these wonderful ladies are, but I do have a couple of things that I'm doing. I'm doing a Marvel TTRPG where we're doing kind of a play test there. It's called, we're called The Vanguard. Let me see here. Exactly the name. Yes, Marvel's The New Vanguard. It's actually, oddly enough, it's playing on Thursdays as well. So when you're done with this, you can go check it out on Kira 858. I'm not on this episode. They're doing episode 2. I will be on the next one coming up. And then we just announced on live action role play that we do a couple of readings called First Draft, where we take first draft scripts and read them as if they were supposed to be the movie. So we just announced doing Clue, and I got cast as Miss Scarlet. So looking forward to doing that because I haven't flexed my reading script acting muscles in a while. So it'll be fun. I'm also in the process of writing some stuff, so stay tuned to my social media because you may see me doing something I haven't done before.
That's exciting and very cryptic. And I've been your storyteller this evening. My name is Diana D'Amico. I actually really don't have a lot going on right now. This is my only stream at this time, which I'm not going to lie to you guys is very freeing in a way. I make a lot of dice during the day. I do this in the evenings. I love me some vampires and some hunters. Speaking of which, we are in the second week of Hunter Month here on Play Renegade. Make sure you check out a lot of the bonus content that's being released for Hunter the Reckoning. You will love it. It's amazing. If you haven't picked up your copy of Hunter the Reckoning yet, go do it. What are you waiting for? Seriously, it's amazing. Go do that. I do not want to forget, y'all, it is our producer's birthday this evening. Yay. So everybody say happy birthday, Katie. Katie, thank you so much for helping us make this show and for always putting up with all of our dumb shenanigans. You're amazing and we love you. And of course, you guys for showing up and hanging out with us while we tell this weird vampire story in a very hot, humid city. We love you. Thank you so much. I think that's it for right this moment. My brain is also mush. So we're going to sign off tonight. Rejoin us on the 27th and we'll figure out what else is going on. Thanks, guys. Good night.
Bye.